Hey guys, it's Chey. Welcome to the channel if you are new, and if you're not, hey boo. So for today's video, I wanted to play with some makeup that I got from my Sephora haul. So if you guys want to see how I created this look and see the products that I used and to hear my thoughts, then if you like it here, if you like testing new makeup, if you like my vibe, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And without any further ado, let's get into this full face testing new makeup. So I wanted to switch things up and we are doing a little nighttime glam session. So let me know if you guys kind of like this vibe. It's a little bit more moody. I have a lot of new products from part one of my Sephora haul, so let's play with some of these goodies. First things first, we're gonna start by hydrating the lips. I'm gonna be using this Edam Le Chou Chou softening lip balm. This is in Sakura shaved ice, and I have been using this, and so far I do really like it. It is more of a thicker consistency. For skin prep, I'm taking the Danessa Myricks water powder serum. Now with this, it is a serum, so initially when I've tried this out, I used it on its own and it did not control my oils. So I'm gonna take about 4 drops and warm it in my hand, and we're just gonna apply this all over the face. The girlies rave about this water powder serum, so hopefully I like it in combination with the blurring balm powder. While that water powder serum is kind of marinating in the skin, we're gonna go ahead and get into the brows. I'm gonna be trying out this Sephora collection brow wax. So this is pretty much just a clear brow gel, so I'm gonna kind of back comb the brows and fluff them up, and so far it has a really nice hold. I can already feel it doing its thing. This brow wax kind of reminds me of the brow wax from Pink Honey, just in a like more liquid formula. The Pink Honey brow fluff is more thicker, and this one is just a lot thinner and a little bit easier to use. But as you can see, the brows are not moving. They are pretty much sticking in place. So you do have a little bit of playtime to move them around, but not too much. I'm just gonna start by underlining the brows. Just to kind of clean them up a little bit. This will just make filling in the brows a little bit more easier, but normally I don't do this because I like to draw my brows more straight. I don't really follow the natural flow of my brows. When doing my brows, I normally fill them in more straight because my brows naturally like go down, and I'm going for more of a lifted brow these days. While we're just letting everything marinate, we're just gonna start on the eyes. I'm priming the eyes using the P. Louise Base in Rumor number 5. For eyeshadow today, we are gonna be taking the YSL Eye Couture palette in Nude Hours. And this is a beautiful neutral eyeshadow palette, and this is what it looks like. It looks really, really gorgeous. I'm gonna start with this top shade as my transition shade, and this is a very powdery formula so far, and we are just going to tap this into the crease. I don't really know what I was expecting from this YSL palette, but so far, just using this one shade, it's really pretty. Like, it is a nice transition shade without doing too much. I feel like I could just use this all over my lid and call it a day, and that would be perfectly fine. But we are gonna do a nice and nasty soft glam look today. I will say this shade is a little bit more cool tone than warm. I feel like in the pan it comes off more yellowy, but on my eyes, it's definitely more neutral. To start deepening up the look, I'm gonna be taking this dark brown and this like warm tone right here and mixing them. And I'm just going to tap that here. And I do like that they include a black in this palette to really add that depth. That way you can take your look really smoky if you want to. So I really like that. To add a little something something on the lid, I want to take this Danessa Myricks Colorfix stick. This is in duo number 5, and I really want to take the metallic side, which is Cassopeia. Taking Cassopeia, I just want to use this as an eye base for the shimmer, and this is a really pretty metallic. You don't really get a lot of playtime with these, so I'm just gonna make sure I blend this out really nicely. For the shimmer, this middle shade right here is Calling My Name, so we're just gonna add this on top. And we're just gonna add this on top, and yes, that was a very complimentary color to use as the base, and it's super glittery and sparkly. Now I will say there seems to be like just an overspray of glitter on the top, so I wonder what this color is gonna look like once this glittery overspray is off. Is it gonna still be as shimmery? I'm really wondering. I'm just going in with that first shade and just blending it on the lid here, just so we have a nice blend. Now we're just gonna take a little bit of liquid liner. While I'm waiting for the lashes to be ready, I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the brows. So starting with my Morphe brow pencil, I'm just gonna outline the bottom, and we're gonna fill it in using a NYX brow pen. And this one is missing more of a tail than the other side. I feel like we all have that one brow that's not as good as the other side. So this one happens to be my struggle brow. So we're just gonna lightly fill in that tail. And now taking my brow pen, this is just the NYX brow pen, and I use the shade Brunette because I don't really like a dark brow. So the brows are looking really nicely. I feel like this brow is more arched than this one, but it's close enough for me. I'm taking the black from that YSL palette, and I'm just going to add a little bit right on the outer corner. I don't know, I'm just feeling a little smoky today. For lashes, I'm just using these from Jasmine Cosmetics. This is in the style Charm, and these are like a little bit more on the spiky side. Normally I do more wispy, but these are really cute. Now we're gonna go ahead and prime the face, and I'm using, of course, the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm Powder. And I did win this in a giveaway from Kendall Alfred here on YouTube, and I have been using this ever since. I normally use the regular universal one, but this one, it just gives you a little bit of glow from within, but still it mattifies the skin, which I like. I'm just color correcting using the Huda Beauty color corrector in Mango. This just helps even out my skin tone so that there's not a dark cast around my mouth or underneath the eyes. I do have sleep apnea, so these under eye bags have been under bagging. My daughter likes to say I have bags on bags because it is really hard for me to sleep. Even with the machine, it's just uncomfortable. I'm gonna let this dry down a little bit underneath the eyes because I feel like the sponge soaked it up. I need as much evening out underneath the eyes as possible. So that's gonna dry down a little bit and we're gonna work into cream bronzer. I'm taking this Chey Sun Melt bronzer in deep bronze. And this is one of those pot cream bronzers. So we're gonna see what this is doing. Just gonna tap into the product and tap a little bit off just to see how pigmented it is. It seems pretty natural. Oh yeah, that is gorgeous. So it's not super dark, especially for it to say deep bronze. It's not really given deep, so it is very warm, I will say. I personally like to add my cream bronzer underneath foundation and on top because I'm just a bronzer type of girl. So I'm just gonna go into that sponge and blend out that color corrector. Yeah, that's better. I'm also taking that cream bronzer to do my nose contour, and I like to take it into the brow. And doing this, it just really elongates the bridge of your nose. So that's why I like to do it this way. I know some people like to just connect it into the eye, but I find like that can make your eyes look really funny. But I guess it just depends on, you know, personal preference, but I like to take it up high into the brow. And then I also like to add bronzer on my top lip because I like that this gives my lips more of a pouty effect. I'm looking nice and bronze. So during the sale, I didn't pick up a new foundation, but I did get my hands on this Anastasia Impeccable foundation. Now this is in the shade 6W. I'm just gonna use about a pump and a half. This is what the shade looks like. I am gonna add a little bit of blue pigment to it just because this is a little bit on the warm side. But this foundation is very full coverage. As you can see, that looks really good. And honestly, even without the blue pigment, it still is workable, but I want to get a really good match. I am getting more into my summer shade. I've been outside, y'all, okay? So your girl is starting to get a tan. Going back into that cream bronzer, I'm just gonna add a little bit more warmth just on the forehead and the cheek right here. I'm taking the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Concealer. This is in the shade 11 Tan. And this is more of a natural highlight shade for me. And I personally like to go above my upper lip just to kind of brighten up around my mouth because I feel like sometimes it just looks dark there. So if I can keep it as light as possible. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and take my sponge and blend everything. And this Charlotte Tilbury concealer is really full coverage as well. So using a sponge kind of soaks up any excess product in case you're like me and you're a little heavy-handed. Going back in with that foundation brush, I'm just going to blend the edges so that there's no harsh lines. To brighten the under eye, I'm actually really curious about this Natasha Denona eye brightener. Now this is a pink eye brightener and this is in B3. So we're just gonna see what she is gonna do. So I'm just gonna add a teeny bit right on the inner corner. While that brightener is doing its thing, I'm gonna be taking the LYS. Look at how cute this is. This is the LYS Higher Standard Cream and Powder Blush Duo, and this is in the shade Confident. I personally really love this Confident cream shade. This is gonna be my first time trying the powder, so let's start with the cream. I really do like the packaging on here, so I'm just gonna dip into the cream. And I feel like I am back into my mauve blushes. Oh, that does not really look mauve. That looks more peachy. Huh. I was expecting this to look more pink. And I can tell that the formula is a little bit different. I feel like this is more creamy and it gives more of a like glow. I feel like the original cream blush was a little bit more mattifying, so we're gonna see how this plays. Now we're gonna go ahead and blend out this concealer, and yeah, that is definitely brightening, which I would have never thought it would actually brighten, and you don't need a lot of it either. To set under the eye, I'm taking the One Size Sweet Honey powder, and that definitely darkened up my bright under eye. I feel like I should have used translucent, but we are here. But I feel like I always use translucent, so I was just trying to switch it up with the honey, with the Sweet Honey powder. To set my cream bronzer, I'm also taking this powder bronzer from Chey. This is in the shade Como, and this is really powdery. Everything is powdery. Now, this is a baked formula. Usually with baked products, you are gonna get a little bit of fallout, but this one is kind of a lot, so we're gonna be careful. And that looks really good together. Oh my god, I look super bronze. And I'm really trying to be light-handed with this bronzer because it is pigmented. But I will say it kind of had something grabbing right here, so I don't love that. And then I'm also taking this powder bronzer to do my nose contour, and I'm just using a fluffy brush. Now I'm just taking Sweet Honey, and I'm just using that to bake the sides of the nose and to sculpt this part of my face. Just in case that bronzer got a little low, we're just gonna clean this up. I like to personally powder the brows because my brows do get more on the oily side. Now we're going into the powder blush, and this is my first time trying like a powder formula from them. I've only tried their powder bronzer, never like their face powder, and I felt like Confident was more pink. This is giving more like peach. So this really is not a color I was going for, but it's still pretty. It's perfect for every day though. That's a cute blush. It's not matte though, so it is a little shimmery. So I'm just taking Fenty powder foundation to dust off this bake. We're gonna add a little bit of this Dior Forever Glow highlighter. This is in Gold Halo number 2, and we're just gonna add this on the nose. And I wanna do a little bit on the cheek. Yeah, it doesn't really give gold, it gives like pinky silver. So the description of the highlighter is definitely false. Taking my blush brush, I'm just going to buff in that highlighter. For lip liner, I'm taking the Makeup by Mario lip pencil in Jeff, and I'm just lining the lips. For lip color, I'm taking this Anastasia Lip Velvet in Crush. I'm gonna add some finishing touches to the face, and then we're gonna get into my thoughts on the new products that I tried out today. And this is the final look of what the face looks like using these new products that I got from my Sephora haul. So let's get into my thoughts. Starting with the brows, this Sephora collection brow wax is actually really good. The brows are definitely stuck. They're not super crunchy, but they do have a very firm hold. I really enjoy how the brows turned out today. As far as this water powder serum, I feel like the skin, it looks really smooth and airbrushed, and I'm not sure if that's due to this, but I'm really happy how the base is looking. For the Anastasia Impeccable foundation, this is a full coverage foundation, so it is a little bit on the thicker side, but it feels very comfortable on the skin. It does have more of a velvety matte soft finish. As far as this Charlotte Tilbury airbrush concealer, I really like her. This shade in 11 Tan gives more of a natural highlight shade for me. This Natasha Denona concealer in B3 really did work. Unfortunately, I did darken up my under eyes by using some yellow powders, so I feel like my under eye really isn't as bright as it could be. I did see the difference in my under eye using this pink concealer. Next time I'll just use my one size translucent powder, that way we can get the full effect, but I feel like the under eyes still look really gorgeous. This Edam lip balm is really nice and hydrating. It doesn't feel like really sticky or too slippery. It's a nice lip treatment, and I will continue to use this. I will say I definitely use this more at night and when I first wake up in the morning. That way I start my day and end my day with some nice hydrated lips. The Say Cream bronzer is nice and warm. I really do like how sun-kissed the skin looked with this bronzer. I did have a little bit of grabbing on my cheek right here. So because this is a baked product, I feel like I want to set the face first and then use this on top rather than using this on a wet base. The bronzer blended out really well for the most part. My thoughts on this LYS cream blush duo, I was actually really excited for this, and I'm not gonna lie y'all, I'm slightly disappointed just because I feel that they did change the formula. The cream formula is not as matte as the original formula, and that is what I personally liked. And the shade, it's really not as pink as the old formula. These are the cream shades, so this is the original Confident shade and this is the new one. So I'm gonna just swatch them on the skin. This is the old formula, so it is a little bit on the thicker side, whereas the new formula is thinner. It's not as matte, it is more glowy. As far as the colors, they are really close, but I don't know, the original was just giving more pink to me. I feel like my cheeks look more peachy, or maybe I'm just tripping. They definitely did change the cream formula to something more thinner, a little bit more glowy and emollient rather than like a matte version. You are going to be using a little bit more product with this new formula because it is thinner, it is a little bit more sheer, it's not as pigmented as the original. So I'm a little disappointed with that, and the powder as well. I feel like I can barely see the blush, and you're really gonna have to dig into this. But if you like something more soft and everyday, then that is perfect. But I definitely want to keep playing with her before I give my final thoughts. This YSL Nude Hours Eye Couture palette is definitely worth the coin, and I'm so glad that I picked it up during the sale. This is a stunning palette, and I feel like I got the perfect like rose gold look. I didn't have any issues blending out my eyeshadow. Everything glided on. Even though I used the metallic side from this Colorfix stick, I feel like the shadow from the YSL palette did perform really great on its own, but I'm just extra, and I'm really glad that I used this as a base because I feel like it gives that beautiful look that I was looking for. This duo number 5 I feel is about to be my favorite duo. I really love these Danessa Myricks Colorfix sticks. They're waterproof, they don't budge, and I love that you can use the metallics as a base and you get a more foiled shade. I'm glad that I now have Duo number 5 in my collection. This Dior highlighter is really pretty, but it is not a soft gold. This is the shade Gold Halo, and I thought it would be more of a champagne, and it's very much a pinky silver shade. Clearly the color of this highlighter does not match the name, so I'm a little disappointed with that, but it looks really nice in skin-like. I do like that you can make it really intense or you can kind of sheer it out. So other than the color, it performed really well. We're still gonna get plenty of use from her. Some products that didn't disappoint are gonna be this lip combo, okay? This Makeup by Mario lip liner in the shade Jeff is absolutely perfect. I love how it glided on, and I love that it's a wooden pencil. And then this Anastasia lip velvet in Crush. I mean, look at the color. It literally matches my shirt. It's really beautiful, and I feel like this lip color goes with any type of look. I am a sucker for a good nude lip color, and this Crush by Anastasia did not disappoint. And those are my thoughts on these new products that I picked up from my Sephora haul. Let me know your thoughts on these products that I tried out today. There were definitely some hits and disappointments, but I definitely want to keep playing with these products. But overall, the face came out looking tea, okay? The face came out looking really good, so I can't complain too much. Let me know what your favorite product was that I used today, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.